What's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be showing you how to get an easy 2 Megapops challenge if you haven't got the achievement already. If you don't know what 2 Megapops is, it's where you play Chimps mode and get 2 million pops with one single tower. Today we're going to be doing this with the Heli Pilot. We're going to be using the Top Path Apache Prime with the faster darts and faster firing just to get that little more popping power. So this is a really good tower, and this is probably, in my opinion, the easiest way to get the 2 Megapops challenge. It's specific to this map because you need Sauda in the corner down here so she can basically dominate the early game, so you can save up to get your Heli Pilot, and she can also pop all of the camo balloons until we get a village for the Heli Pilot. So I'm going to let this ride out, and I'll be back when we get a little bit more money and save up for the Heli Pilot. So as you can see, Sauda has no trouble with the early game. We should be able to get the Heli Pilot on round 14. We just need about $9 more, so that shouldn't be a problem. She should clean up these yellows. Then you want to put your Heli Pilot right here, just so you have some room for a village and an alchemist later without them stealing too many pops. So this is your setup for the early game. Normally, if you just leave the Heli Pilot right here, it should clean up everything except the camo balloons. And like I said, we are going to go with that top path. Let's see, we shouldn't have any trouble with any of these rounds. Nice, there we go. So that's enough. We can get the quad darts for more popping power. And all I'm trying to do now is get that pursuit and just let it do its own thing, and we should have no problems for the rest of the game, really. So there we go. We've got enough for pursuit. We'll just leave that on its own. And I think we'll have enough to get the Razor Rotors before the leads on round 28, but if not, Sauda's ability can clean those up. And as I said, you just want to let the camo balloons go through. She can pop all of them up until, I think, round 51 is the last camos that she can't beat on her own. So you should have no problem with those. Don't even worry about them. And so on round 26, we got enough for the Razor Rotor, so that'll take care of the leads on 28 and 30. And I'm going to go ahead, like I said, get the faster darts and the faster firing just for the more popping power, especially to help with the Moab on round 40. So there's the leads on 28, no problem. So now I'm just going to pause it. I'll be back on round, we'll say 40 for the Moab, and I'll show you how that goes. Back on 33, these are just more camos. I'm showing you Sauda. She's a very good tower for a reason. She's used a lot. She can clean up all of these camo balloons, no problem. We're actually going to push all the way to the Apache dart ship before I worry about the village, because you don't really, she can clean up all the camos and you're not losing that many pops in just camos, so you'll be fine by the end of the game. So I'll be back on round 40 when we get to the Moab. Alright guys, just finishing up round 39 right here. Still no problems. The Heli Pilot's a really powerful tower. So let's see how the Moab goes. As you can see, it should have no problem. It's getting some good damage. This is a long enough track where it can do that. It can pop all the ceramics. No problem at all. So now I'm just going to let it ride until we get enough money for the Apache dart ship, and we'll be back then. Alright guys, so I'm back. I believe we can afford the Apache dart ship on round 47, if not 48. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be early 48. Still some camo balloons, but even these regen camo purples Sauda has no problem with. And there we go. We got enough for the Apache dart ship. This should carry you for long enough. The next thing I'm going to do, just get the village and go ahead and go for that camo detection just to not waste any more pops. And we'll go ahead and get the jungle drums as well, just for some more popping power. Eventually we will get the MIB, but we won't do that until later in the game, just to help pop the DDTs. This should be just enough for now. And I'm going to as well go ahead and get an alchemist. I'm going to put it low down here beside Sauda. You don't really wanting it powering up Sauda, but if you put it too high up here, it'll still pops from this side of the map. So I like putting it down here and then just getting it all the way up to the stronger stem. And I like going the middle path on all my alchemists. I don't think it really matters. You can choose, but for this, I'm just going to go middle path. So we're going to let this Apache Prime, or Dart ship, just kind of ride all the way up into the Apache Prime. You should have no problems whatsoever. So we'll just see you back then when we get enough money for the Apache Prime. Alright, as you guys can see, the Apache Prime, or the Apache Dart ship, is still going strong. 75, really tough round for 2 Megapops challenges, but you can see no problems at all. I was going to show you round 76 as well, which is another round a lot of people die on. And you can just see it eats through all of those ceramics, no problem. So we're only about $5,000 away from the Apache Prime, so I'll cut and I'll be back right when we get enough money for that. Okay, it looks like we're going to have enough on round 78, maybe early 79. And there we go. We got the Apache Prime on round 78. So this should be smooth sailing for a while. We should have no problem through the 80s. The first ZOMG should be no problem. The next thing I'm going to go for is actually I'm going to go ahead and get the MIB because I know I'm going to need it. Eventually, we will actually end up going for the Perma-Brew, but that'll be about mid-90s when we end up getting that. You're going to need the MIB before that just to be able to beat the DDTs on rounds 90, 93, and 95, I believe. So let's just go ahead and get that MIB, and we will let it ride out through the 80s, and I'll come back on round 90 so I can show you how this does against the DDTs. Alright guys, we're on round 89. We got DDTs coming up next round. Shouldn't be a big problem. There's only 3 of them this round, I believe, so shouldn't be a big problem. And there we go. Easy right there. We're about $15,000 away from the Perma-Brew, and I'm not sure if this is even necessary, but I know it definitely does help, especially on rounds like 98, 99, where they're very beefy rounds, so you just want to go ahead and get that just to make it a little bit easier on yourself. And it's not stealing a lot of pops. See, it's got 0 pops and we're already on round 92. Sawda's only got 2,000, so this is going to be a pretty easy challenge. If you just follow this guide, you should have no problem whatsoever. So let's see how the 90s go. We got 93. You see it cleans up those DDTs, no problem. Other than the DDTs, 93 is normally not a tough round. 94 is a pretty heavy round. This shows you normally how well you'll do on rounds 96 and 98. But as you can see, no problem for the Apache Prime, and we should be able to get our Perma-Brew on this round as well, right before 85, which is amazing. So we get the Perma-Brew. He's obviously going to Perma-Brew Sawda, but her range is so small it's not going to matter. So we've got all the buffs on this, and this should be able to just ride to the end of the game. No other towers, no more money spent. Let's see how it does against 95. They're not even getting through, I don't know, 15% of the track, so should have no problem whatsoever. In round 97 here, you got 2 fortified ZOMGs. This shows you how well you're going to do against the bad, kind of. Not really, but a little bit. And you can see, no problem whatsoever. Alright, round 98. This is the biggest balloon round in the game. So this is a round that a lot of people die on. But as you can see, no problems whatsoever. It's going to take this down pretty easily within the first half of the track. Then we're going to get to round 99. We got the fortified DDTs. Normally a tough round. This is the farthest a round will get, but don't worry, it will clean them up in the back here. And then you got the bad. And as you can see, we're already almost at 2 million. We got 2,200 on Sawda and 60 on the Alchemist. So this shouldn't be too much of an issue. It will pop the bad balloon. No problem. We're about to pass that 2 million right there, and boom. There's the challenge done with some to spare. And honestly, this is a lot more. I think there's only about 2,043,000 total in the game. So as you can see, we've got our Apache Prime down here with 2,040,390 pops. So I believe this is the easiest way to get the 2 Megapops challenges. If you're having trouble, I would follow this guide and you should knock it out no problem. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.